So the word Baba refers to the man. Yeah? The word Nyonya refers to the lady.
Singapore, a modern city in Asia with different culture, religion, and ethnic group. One of the ethnic group is actually the Peranakans. So who are the Peranakans? What is the Peranakan culture? Today, Successpedia Asia brings you on a Peranakan journey. Let's go.
Hey Desmond, how are you?
Hey, hi Alvin.
Come on in.
Yes. Alright.
So welcome to my house. It is also a museum. I've been living here for about 12, 13 years and this is a collection of more than 30 years put together. As a young boy, I was very intrigued with the Peranakan culture, which is my own culture. And unlike what people think, that I may have been very familiar with the Peranakan culture when I was young, it couldn't be further from the truth. I was very ignorant about Peranakan culture. I had very little knowledge about Peranakan culture and I think that was what drove me to collect Peranakan material culture because the people that sold it to me, the people that passed it on to me would share the Peranakan story with me, and that was how I ended up with this museum in my house.
So how long has this museum been around actually?
I started the Intan in 2003, so that would have been about 17 years ago, in a small apartment, not here, but by the sea in Marine Parade. I moved into Chiat about 12, 13 years ago, and I think that was when people heard about me. I wanted to learn about Peranakan culture and started to come knocking at my door. And that was how we started sharing Peranakan culture through the Intan.
What is your motivation and your inspiration behind building up and preserving the Peranakan culture?
So Desmond, what really inspires me, I guess, to collect all these beautiful things are truly because I am Peranakan and I wanted to learn about my own culture. And the more I discovered about my roots and my identity, the more I felt this compelling me to put the pieces together to complete the story of what a Peranakan lifestyle would be, what a Peranakan culture would be like. I don't think I am preserving the culture. I guess what I'm trying to do, I guess at best, is to enjoy the material culture, enjoy being Peranakan, and if along the way it helps to preserve it, so be it.
I guess the viewers will really like to know who are the Peranakans actually?
First, we talk about the word Baba. Yeah? So the word Baba refers to the man. Yeah? The word Nyonya refers to the lady, much like Sir and Lady. So if there was a lady in the house, and her name was Dinah, you will call her Lady Dinah or Nyonya Dinah. Yeah? And for you, I will address you as Baba Desmond. Yeah? So Baba means Sir or Mr. And in Peranakan culture, we use the word Baba Nyonya quite interchangeably with the word Peranakan culture. So some people call it the Baba culture, they say Nyonya cooking, Nyonya porcelain, Baba language. So this is how we use these phrases. Yeah. So the Peranakan culture has various takes on how it came about. Some say it was in the early 14th, 15th century where Admiral Cheng Ho had 7 expeditions, and out of which 2 of it he discovered some semblance of what we call Peranakan culture in Southeast Asia. There's of course the very romantic story of the Princess Hang Li Po that came and was betrothed to a royalty in Malaya and hence brought with her 500 beautiful maidens, and they intermarried the local Malacca community, and hence Peranakan culture was born. And of course there's also the story of how early Chinese migrants came around 1800s and they intermarried the local Malay women during that period. And soon as the community became prosperous, the Peranakan culture evolved. And I guess there is truth in all 3 origins or 3 theories of how Peranakan culture started. And really it's how far back you like to trace the origins of Peranakan culture.
Why is the Peranakan culture so unique?
For me, I think it's really an interesting blend of different cultures coming together and a simulation where you have a Chinese community intermarrying a local community, the Malay community, and at the same time assimilating European influence. And this is rather unusual because we know there are many Chinese diasporas around the world, but nowhere do you see the Chinese community intermarrying the local women and being so strong and so steadfast about their own Chinese roots, their own Chinese traditions, at the same time embracing local culture while being very open to European influences. And this you'll find very pertinent and very prominent within the Peranakan culture. And I think that is why it's so unique.
Is the food one of the reasons why Peranakan culture is so unique? I think Singaporeans, we love Peranakan food.
Yeah, so many people associate Peranakan culture to Peranakan food, and I for one would have to declare, yes, to me Peranakan food is really my favorite. It's the best food that I've tasted. And I think it's only because we bring the best of various cultures together. So for the Peranakan woman in those days, their status in society is how well she cooks. Yeah. So it was quite clear that she needed to upgrade her skills to impress her potential in-laws and perhaps even her relatives, friends and her neighbors. Yeah, so this was a testimony of how well brought up a young girl is and how prominent she would probably be in society.
So Peranakan culture in Singapore is said to be disappearing. So what do you think youths and the society can actually help to keep it or preserve it?
It's interesting that you asked me how to preserve, how to keep Peranakan culture from dying. I see it from a different angle. I think it's more than just our lifestyle and our dressing. Rather, I think a culture is alive when people are talking about the culture, very much like what we are doing today. So, I grew up in the 80s and 90s where Peranakan culture wasn't very much spoken about. There were very little books, articles. There was no Peranakan museum in those days, so it was hard to get information about Peranakan culture. But today, you take a stone, you throw outside, every other Singaporean would have heard about either Little Nyonya or about Peranakan food, Peranakan kuih. And that for me is a testimony that the culture is far more alive than it has ever been. It will just get more and more vibrant only because of people like you who are interested and create such wonderful opportunities for us to share about the culture.
I just want to ask, what is success to you as a Peranakan?
What is success to me as a Peranakan? I don't know if there's any difference between a success for a Peranakan and success for a non-Peranakan, but for me, success really is to be contented, to be free, and to be happy with what we have. I think that to me is success. My first job was with Singapore Airlines. I used to live abroad for many years. I was in San Francisco. I got a bit bored there and I wanted something exciting. And I went to Dhaka, Bangladesh, which I guess had very little creature comforts. But I felt very happy there. I loved the lifestyle there. I loved the fact that people were contented with what they had. I think that's the best success that one can find, to be happy and contented.
Is there one thing that you would like to say to the viewers?
I guess, like you, Desmond, live life with a passion. Whatever we do, may it be filming, may it be singing, may it be cooking, may it be collecting Peranakan antiques, or even being a businessman, just do it with 101% soul and passion. And I think life is worth living.
Thank you so much, Alvin.
You're welcome.
Thank you for staying with us. We hope you liked today's episode and you have learned a little bit more about the Peranakan culture. Do like and share our video. Follow us on our Facebook, Instagram and YouTube channel as well. We look forward to seeing you on our next episode with Successpedia Asia. Desmond, your host, signing out.